Welcome back, dear students. In today's video, I'm going to discuss user-defined functions in Python. Before I start, let's see what you get at the end of this video. By the end of this video, you'll be able to explain advantages of user-defined functions. You'll be able to write your own user-defined functions. You'll be able to explain flow of execution. Let's begin. User-defined functions. Apart from just using the functions, those come with Python interpreter. Dear students, we can also write our own functions. Writing our own function is called defining a function or adding a new function. Because so far we have used just a built-in functions which are supplied or which will come with a Python interpreter. Whereas in this particular class, we are going to define a function, nothing but we are going to write our own function. A function definition specifies the name of a new function and the sequence of statements that execute when the function is called. Means a function definition means there will be a name of a function, a name will be given to a new function, and some sequence of statements will be there. When we call that function, those statements will get executed. Once we define a function, we can reuse a function over and over throughout our program. Just we need to define once, and after we define it, we can use it any number of times. Before we proceed further to define a function, let's see advantages of a user-defined functions. There are several reasons to write functions, means there are several advantages to write functions. The first one is creating a new function gives us an opportunity to name a group of statements which makes our program easier to read, understand and debug. This is one of the very important advantage, dear student. Creating a new function means it will give us an opportunity to name that particular group of statement a new name. And when a group of statements is given a name, say reading that program and understanding will be very easier. Not just that, debugging will be easier. Debugging in the sense, say removing a error. Bug means error and debug means removing any error. Functions can make a program smaller by eliminating a repetitive code. Later, if we make a change, we only have to make it in one place. Dear students, if at all we are using repetitive code in different parts of our program, once we need to define a function, wherever we want to use those codes, just call the function. And if at all we want to alter the function, just make it once. So that wherever we are going to call that function, that will be reflected. So that's the second advantage. The next advantage is dividing a long program into functions allows us to debug the parts of one at a time and then assemble them into working whole. Means, dear students, when we divide a long program into functions, it will be very easier us to debug that particular functions. Like a very big program, after we write, if at all we test that, if at all we check that, the errors can be there in a different parts of the program, say which will be difficult to debug. Instead of that, when that program is divided into number of functions, surely debugging those functions will be very easier. And later, all those functions can be clubbed together to make a working program. Well-designed functions are often useful for many programs. Once we write and debug one program, we can reuse it in any other programs. This is one of the very advantage of writing functions, dear students. Once we are going to write a function, we can use it in many other programs. Like say for example, say you consider that we have written some function which is useful in so many other programs. We need to write just that function only once, and next time we can directly use that function in different programs. These are all advantages of writing a user-defined function. So this is how we'll write a user-defined function. One example, here if you see, dear students, def is a keyword and later whatever it's been written, it's a name of a function. In this case, the name of the function is print underscore message, and after the say name of the function there are parentheses, one open parenthesis and another close parenthesis, afterwards colon. This syntax you are supposed to follow, dear students. Def is a keyword which tells that define. Okay, means say we are defining a function whose name is a print underscore message. And within this, after a proper indentation, you can write all the statements within this particular function. How many statements you want to write, all those statements should be properly indented. And for indentation, as I told dear students, either you can use a space or tabs normally, and don't mix up space and tabs. If you are using spaces, just use spaces, and if you are using tabs, just use tabs. And normally some editors will going to take 4 spaces by default. Some editors will going to give the indentation on their own. Okay, so only thing is we need to use a proper editor. Once I write a program, I am going to show it how a proper editor is going to give the indentation on its own. Diff is a keyword that indicates that this is a function definition. The name of the function in this case is print underscore message. The rules for function names are the same as for variable names. Whatever the rules we have seen in defining a variable, same rules will be applicable to a function name. Letters, numbers and some punctuation mark are legal, but first character can't be a number. Like here some punctuation means say we have used underscore. Okay, so whatever the rules we have seen for defining a variable name, all those rules are applicable to a function name. We can't use a keyword as a name of a function. Same thing, even this was there in a name of a variable. Okay, rule to name a variable. And we should avoid having a variable and function with the same name. Because when we call that particular name, so whether to use a variable or function, the interpreter cannot decide. Because of that, we should avoid having the same name for a variable and a function. The empty parenthesis after the name indicates that this function doesn't take any arguments. Means this function doesn't take any input. Input to the function are called arguments. Already in previous one of the video I have discussed that, dear students. Okay, arguments are the input to the function. We can also build functions that take arguments as their input. The first line of the function definition is called the header. The rest is called the body. The header has to end with colon, and the body has to be indented. By convention, the indentation is always 4 spaces. The body can contain any number of statements. Dear students, if we type a function definition in interactive mode, the interpreter prints 3 dots like this. After a function definition, means after a header declaration, it will going to print 3 dots, which will tell that there is a function definition which is not complete yet. Like say for example, if I enter a function in an interactive mode, def print underscore message, then colon, and once we enter that, we are going to get 3 dots like this, which indicates that we are in a process of entering a function, means the function is not completed. Here so there is a one statement, print hello dear students, how are you? And we can have one more statement like print I hope all of you are doing good. And if at all we want to terminate, we should enter a blank line, an empty line. To end the function, we have to enter an empty line. And this is not necessary in case of a script. Whenever we are going to enter a function definition in an interactive mode, to end a function definition, we are supposed to enter an empty line. Nothing but a new line. Defining a function creates a variable with the same name. Means when we define a function, it will going to create a one new variable with the same name as the function name. Like in this case, the name of the function is print message. If we try to print that name of the function, it will going to give its details. So the print underscore message, which is the name of a function, say it will tell that function, it's a function print underscore message, which is stored at so and so memory location. This is a place where the function has been stored. This is the memory location of that particular function. And when we print type of that particular function, what we get is class function. Means like, say if we write a type 32, we have got int. Means type of 32 is integer. Like that, the type of a print message, which is the name of a function, is nothing but its type is function. Before I proceed further, I'm going to show these things in an interpreter and later we can continue. Let me start Python 3 interpreter using a command called Python 3. Say here in an interactive mode, I'm going to enter the function. The function can be defined using a keyword called def space name of the function. I name the function as print underscore message, then empty parenthesis colon, and once I enter, look at dear students, automatically we got 3 dots. And here after this, you were supposed to give either spaces or tabs. As I have told, I'm going to give a tab. Just I press one tab and here I can enter print hello students, how are you. Once I enter, once again we'll get that one more message I print, I hope all of you are doing good. Now after you enter all the statements by giving proper indentation, just you need to enter a one blank line. This is a function definition. Once a function definition is over, it will not give any output. If at all we want to use that particular function, just call that function. Here print underscore message. This is a function call. So when I call the function, you can see the function will be called and its body will get executed. Inside the body of this function, there are 2 statements and both the statements got executed. So the first statement has been printed here and the second statement is here. Okay, and dear students, so when I print just the name of the function, like say print underscore message, as I told, so once we define a function, it will going to create a function variable with the same name. So here the name of the function is print underscore message. You can see it's a function print underscore message which is stored at so and so memory location. And say if at all we want to see the type of this function, you can see class function. Type of a function means this is the name of the function. It's a class function. Once we define a function, we can use it inside another function. Like say for example, we could write a function called repeat underscore message like this. Define a new function has been defined whose name is repeat underscore message, and inside this new function we are calling a other function which we had defined earlier, which is print underscore message. And when we call repeat underscore message in an interactive mode, so it will going to call the print underscore message and executes it, the output of which is 2 statements, and once again it calls print underscore message, and we can see that this particular function print underscore message has been called twice and the output we can see here. Okay, say this particular the total code we can see like this. Before I proceed further, first we'll see this. What I do, dear students, I'm going to enter this code in a file. So let me open a file called function.py. The name of the file is function.py, and inside this I'm writing this is a Python code to illustrate user defined function, right? So some message, and here I'll start definition print underscore message. Now you can see dear students, here I'll just enter, automatically it will take the indentation on its own. I have not given the indentation. I'll show you once again. So just I'll enter. Once I enter, automatically it will take that indentation. And here whatever I want to print hello students, how are you. And once again I'll enter, dear students, it will take the indentation automatically. Say print I hope all of you are doing great. Now Afterwards we can enter a statement here itself, but it is better to leave a one space, means one new line, and then enter whatever you want to. Like say if I want to call this particular function, so I'll just write print underscore message. This is a function call. To save this, and dear students, as you know, I have used VI editor. Just press escape, shift colon WQ. W stands for save, Q stands for quit. Save and quit, enter. And here I'll execute this using Python 3 interpreter. The function got executed. Whatever the program we have written, inside that the function, body of the function, nothing but a definition of a function, and this here we are calling that function. If we don't call that function, like say dear students, if I make this a comment and execute this, there will not be any output, because just defining a function will not execute it. To execute, you are supposed to call that function. And dear students, here I am going to write one more function, like say def repeat message, and here so I am going to call the function print message. Twice I am going to call. Here I'll end that function, and let me call the function repeat underscore message. Dear students, one thing you need to note here, I have written a first function which is print underscore message, and this particular function have called inside another function whose name is repeat underscore message, and here I have called repeat underscore message. So once this function is called, it will going to in turn call a one more function which is print underscore message, and once this statement gets executed, say it will go to a print underscore message function, and inside this how many statements are there, all those statements will be executed. Later the control comes back to where it has left off, means here it will come, and once again it will going to call the function which is print underscore message. The same function is executed once again. Afterwards it will end the program. So let me show you the execution of this. I'll save this and execute. Dear students, you can see that particular print underscore message has been executed twice. Actually dear students, this is one function, this is one function, and this particular, the program execution starts with this particular statement which is repeat underscore message. It's not that the program execution starts with the first statement within a program file. No, the flow of, little later I am going to discuss the flow of execution. Here the program execution starts with a repeat underscore message, and which is a function. This function is called, and within the body of this function the first statement gets executed, and this first statement is once again a function call. It will go to another function, and within this function all the statements gets executed, and after executing all the statements it will come back and execute the next statement within this, okay, which is in turn a function call. So once again that function gets executed, and later at the end no more functions are there, it will come back, and here no more functions are there. That will be the end of the program execution. Hope this is clear to all of you dear students. And this is the total code that we wrote. Say this is one function and this is another function. Inside this user defined function we have called the previous function. And dear students, the program that we wrote contains two functions definition. One is print message and another one is repeat message. Function definitions get executed just like other statements, but the effect is to create the function objects. Means once we define a function, it will going to create a function object. The statements inside a function do not get executed until the function is called. That's what I told dear students. Just a definition, just a defining a function will not execute its code. To execute the codes within a function, we are supposed to call the function. The function definition generates no output. It will generate output only when it will be called. We have to create a function before we call it. This is very much important dear students. Before we are going to call the function, it should be created, means its definition should be present. In other words, the function definition has to be executed before the first time it is called. In order to ensure that the function is defined before its first use, we have to know the order in which statements are executed and which is called flow of execution. Which function has to be defined first, which should be defined later, where the statement should be placed. To place that, to order all the statements, we should know well in advance the flow of execution. Means the order in which statements are executed is called flow of execution. Remember, execution always begins at the first statement of the program. Statements are executed one at a time in order from top to bottom. Like in this case, dear students, if you see, say the execution begins from the first statement of the program. If you think this is a first statement of the program, no, it is a function definition. This is another function definition. But the first statement in a program is this. Even though the first statement appears here, print hello students, how are you? This will not be executed first. The program execution starts with the first statement of the program, which is a repeat underscore message. Because say these remaining statements are a part of a function definition, and defining a function will not execute it. To execute the body of the function, we are supposed to call that function. Because of that, this is the first statement that will be executed. Function definition do not alter the flow of execution of the program. But remember, statements inside the function are not executed until the function is called. I told this dear student. Whenever there is a function call, instead of going to the next statement, the flow jumps to the body of the function, executes all the statements there, and then comes back to pick up where it has left off. Like dear students, if you see here, once we call repeat underscore message, it will come here. And here there are two statements. Both are function calls. Say once it will execute print underscore message, which is a function call. Before it will execute print underscore message, means one more statement, it will go to this particular function, completes the function execution, and later comes back and execute the next statement. One of the important point to remember is that one function can call another. As I have shown here, this print underscore message has been called inside a repeat underscore message. While in the middle of one function, the program might have to execute the statements in another function. But while executing that new function, the program might have to execute at another function. Means inside one function we may call another function, inside another function we may call say one more function. Fortunately, Python is good at keeping track of where it is. So each time a function completes, the program picks up where it left off in the function that called it. When it gets to the end of the program terminates. Execution terminates. When we read a program, we don't always read from top to bottom. Sometimes it's better to read it. It makes more sense if we follow the flow of execution. Very important, dear students. Like here, say you should not read from starting from this statement to the end. In this case, the flow of execution is starting from the repeat underscore message. You need to start reading this particular program from repeat underscore message. Means say this particular statement gets executed. Once this statement gets executed, which is a function call, it will come here. Within this, say one statement is print underscore message, which is in turn another function call. And say you need to come and read here print underscore message. And once this function execution is complete, it will come back and pick up where it has left off. Say like this you are supposed to read. Using a flow of execution, you are supposed to read any program, dear students. Then only you will understand properly. You should not read from the first statement within a program. You should say see the flow of execution and accordingly you need to read the program. Hope this is clear to you, dear students. Thank you. Thank you for watching.